E muramura he kā ki uta, e muramura he kā ki tai, ki a korokoragi e muramura o ahi kā. May your fires burn brightly inland. May they be seen to burn along the coasts. May the sparks of your bright fires be seen by all. And that whakatauki or proverb tells us that when you arrive, even if you're just travelling through, you light a fire. And the fire is a sign of occupation. That's the meaning of fire in the peaceful sense.
The philosophic base of stewardship and the techniques of stewardship were brought here from tropical Polynesia with our earliest ancestors. The problem was that it needed to be adapted to new species and a new climate, so invariably there would be some early errors. Yep, we burned some areas, but fire to the Polynesian was a sign of what we call mana, which is prestige.
They say that through our hunting techniques and through our preparing sites for vegetation, for mara, for gardens, we burnt forest edges, and that those took off and ended up burning a lot more. I'm sure that might have happened, but I think I've also heard from other Maori that we learn, we had to learn. If you didn't learn from your mistakes, you didn't survive. And so there were mistakes made, and I don't think Maori are denying that we didn't make mistakes. We're human, but we had a great a deep sense of connection to the land. And so we had to move on and not do that again. We had to be those conservationists.
Fire was an integral part of surviving a New Zealand climate. Fire had the same sense to the people as that of a parent, something which nurtured, kept you warm, and was essential to life.
The forest was a sacred place. There was your food basket, and you wouldn't deliberately destroy that because of the resources that were there.
It's clear that wherever humanity has tread, things do change, but the nature and timeliness of that change is said by some to be a catastrophic event in terms of the New Zealand story, which Maori generally don't quite hold to.
The fire ushers in life, and the fire extinguishes all trace of human life. Our people actually use fire to dispose of the dead. And there's an island on Lake Akatibua, and it's known as Motuti. And our grandmother told us that that's where our people were disposed of in that area. Why go to an island? Kia tēnei a tō ahi. So that the fire won't spread. So care was taken not to set fires off indiscriminately, but to look about you in every direction, to take heed and to make sure that the departed were not going to be the cause of a great catastrophe, your food source and everything else.
There's some huge misunderstandings out there about our people. There's no doubt that that forest was widespread throughout the country at an early date, and that by the time the Europeans arrived, much of that forest, not all of it, much of it had gone. We did leave some for them to cut down and make into important items like fence posts. But I sometimes think it's partly to justify their own behaviour that they accused us of burning 90% and only leaving them the 10%. But I think that by the time of European arrival, the Maori people had developed a regime of sustainable practices for managing natural resources.
I think often in research what happens is that we sometimes forget the people component of it. You can understand the Western science, you can understand how they've got to some of their thinking, and you value that. But what's still not being valued in a lot of these stories and a lot of the journal and the articles is the Māori perspective at the time, the Māori thinking, the way we value the world, the way we see our world. And when I think about that, there's this gap in the spirituality and the sacredness and the meaning of what fire was for us.